Okay, so happy Sunday, team. I'm just going to hop into it. This call is called What Happens When You Don't Quit. And yes, I have a fan on me. So it's like, I get hot on Zoom. I don't know why. It's like I can't move around. But anyway, so I'm so blessed and honored to be leading our team call tonight. The last time we had led our team call was in July, way too long. It was about our launch of NBF. I was prepared. I had all my ducks in a row, excited to present. And when it was showtime, I lost it. My brother-in-law, Santi, was admitted to the hospital, and little did we know that was going to be the last time I would see him that day. I had this hunch it was going to be the last time, but it was. And then, so if you don't know, Santiago, my brother-in-law, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, stomach cancer, in May 2019. He battled for 14 months. So from diagnosis to him passing away was 14 months. He was 30. He was healthy. He played soccer. He was an amazing soccer player. He worked out all the time. He ate well. He rarely drank, and he got diagnosed with freaking stage 4 stomach cancer. And we had to watch his last year of his life kind of play out, knowing what the prognosis was for stage 4 stomach cancer, not knowing that not one person survives it or has survived it yet. And he was a part of our family for 14 years. Natalie and him dated for they were together for 14 years. So he was definitely a part of our family. Scott and him were such great friends. He and Scott had a special bond. It was amazing to watch. As you can imagine, when us four, we all got together, it was such a fun time just because Natalie's my best friend and Scott and Santi were so close. The way he lived his life, I promise there's a point to this. The way he lived his life the past year until the disease kind of started taking over his body was amazing. Natalie and him were able to travel all over. They went to Canada, Oregon. They went to Austin at this awesome retreat. Little place. They went to DC, and his very last trip was La Cantera. And Scott and I were so blessed to be able to go to that trip. It was 2 months before he passed. And when we were in there, La Cantera last June, at the adult pool, which, side note, if you haven't been to La Cantera, you absolutely should put it on your list, especially if you live in Texas. You don't have to go very far. We were all in the adult pool, and we noticed Santi was literally shivering in the pool, goosebumps everywhere, shivering. And we were like, Santi, let's go to the hot tub. And he was like, y'all, it's 90 degrees out here. Everyone is sweating. And I was 35 weeks pregnant. And we're like, no, we are a little chilly. Let's go to the hot tub. And I just remember that so fondly because Natalie said that was one of his last days, that he felt good. We were laughing, drinking, crying, and he was so comfortable because, he was so skinny from after all the chemo and poison they put into your body. And it was just such a joyful time. And I don't say all this to be a downer. Santi lived his life to the fullest. He had a smile on his face almost every day, despite the throwing up, despite the chemo, despite the needles, the TPN, the colonoscopies, endoscopies, paracentesis, all the time. And when Santi passed, which was exactly 7 months ago today, which is kind of bizarre, it changed all of us. It changed the way we lived. It changed the way we talk to each other, the way we smile, the way we handle arguments, the way we love another, the way we live each day. And all that to say is we don't know how much time we have on this earth. We don't know when our time is coming. You guys, life is too damn short to not be happy. So if you're not happy what you are doing, you have the power to change it. If you are not happy with your full-time job, you have the power to change it. If you're not happy in the relationship you're in, you can go to therapy and change it. If you're not happy in the home that you're in, you can change that too. This is life right here. You're in it, you're living it, you're feeling it. You woke up today, you're breathing, you were able to maybe work out, feed yourself. That is a damn blessing. This call is about what happens when you don't quit the business. And I hope that you're able to see and not quit before the magic happens. And so that means not quitting, obviously. What happens when you really push through the hard, because everyone knows this business gets really, really hard for every single person here. No matter if you've been here for a month, no matter if you've been here for 5-6 years, it has gotten really, really hard. I'm leading this call, so it's a little bit a backstory. I signed up to be a coach. It'd be 6 years ago this May. 6 years, which is kind of mind blowing. I joined coaching because I was Well, first I joined as a challenger because I was sick and tired of yo-yo dieting and binge eating. I was all over the place feeling like crap. And I saw a post of Jessica's, and Jessica's one of my best friends. I met her in college at A&M, that stopped me in my tracks. Okay, so are you ready for this post? It was literally, if this superfood smoothie isn't in your life, then it should be. Hashtag 75 superfoods. I mean, can you imagine recruiting your future five-star diamond coach because of that post? And I'm not saying you should post that tonight or that you shouldn't post that at all because, you know, in this day and age, everything changes. But you have no idea what kind of post, story, or reel that will attract your next coach. But I signed up as a coach in May 2015, and it really goes to show that when you stay with something long enough, you will create success. If you stay in something long enough, you will create success. You guys, this business is not rocket science. This business if it took a lot of talent, I would not be here. I'm not the smartest one here. I'm not the most creative or the fastest to do something, but I do think I have a superpower in showing up and staying consistent. That's what also makes this business super cool. We assume that you have to have a big, huge weight loss story to be successful. We assume that we have to have like a big following on social media, like Instagram or Facebook, but you don't. You think that you might have to have all these likes or comments coming through on your photos or all these views on reels to be successful, but you don't either. And then we also have maybe this idea that we have to make a certain amount of money at a certain amount of time in this business to be successful, but you don't. There is no time limit to start creating success in this business. There is no time limit. And I want to be completely honest with you about how this works. The problem is when people join coaching, they think it is all rainbows and butterflies. They think social media is the easiest thing ever, that when you complete 1 power hour, that customers and coaches start running your way. But let me tell you something, the sooner we accept that coaching is a real job, that you are your own CEO of your own business, and that it will be hard, be tough, and sometimes you want to like literally like bang your head against like the table or water bottle, the sooner we can get down to business to build a business. Okay, so I have a couple tips that I want to discuss for building a business, kind of like my 5 top tips from, you know, looking back. I feel like I could also talk about this forever. So number 1 is change. I'm speaking to you like you have made the decision to be in this business forever. Because I hope you have, because I'm not going anywhere. If there's one thing I know for certain is that this business is always changing and you have to change with it. I remember when the thing to do was to post 3 times on Facebook, 3 times on Facebook a day. Like if you remember that, you have probably been a coach probably since 2017. And if you looked at my profile from 2016, I literally had a post 3 times a day. It was kind of what you would assume stories would be, like story bits, but it was like a healthy meal around like 7:30, then it was lunch, then it was dinner. Like I cringe even thinking about my content or photos. It was like bad lighting, bright words all over my photos. It's like the thing to do. And then I was just like, wow, like a lot of Laura all the time, just like constantly in your newsfeed, just like a lot of me. I probably am sure like a lot of people hid what I was doing, but you know what? That was building my business. Even though it wasn't perfect, even though it wasn't the most creative, it was still building a business. This business is about connections, and that's what it was building. And I was able to start connecting with people through those 3 posts a day. And what truly came down to is I wasn't staying the same. I was constantly moving forward. No matter if I was constantly going like really full speed or just like slowly going forward, I was constantly going forward. Then I remember Instagram came out with stories, you guys. Stories came out, and I don't know if you know this, I had to look it up. December 2017. I feel like stories have kind of been around forever. And I remember when they came out, we were all scared to death. We were like, what is this new thing? How are we going to use it for our business? How are we going to like leverage our business? How are we supposed to cut it down and create value in 15-second bits? And now it's like, you know, we can do that so easily. I remember watching stories for like 2 weeks. I'd watch. And then I was like, I've got to jump in, or I'm just like, you know, you just got to start. I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the best content or gifts or fancy, but I started and that was the main thing. Now, stories are the number one thing that's driving my business. Facebook and Instagram stories are the number one thing where I get my business from. And I'm sure a lot of y'all can say that too. What I constantly think about is, what if I never started? What if I was too scared to talk to the camera or to show workout clips or to invite or post up a poll? I feel like posting on social media has taken, like actually posting the 3 times a day, that's kind of taken a back seat on my priority list, but I still do it because it validates what I'm doing as a coach. And just a tidbit, a trick that I do is, a lot of times, if you've been a coach for more than a year, I go back into my memories and look at my past posts. And if they suck, I don't reuse them. But if they're good, ish, I can like reword, I can redo the words, add a new bright photo to it, have it fit more into like my life now, because your life is constantly changing, and post it. And for my other content on my feed, it's usually adding family life, being a girl mom, more life things that are relatable. And if I wasn't a coach yet, and I say like Jessica asked me to be a coach now, one of the things I would do is I would go to her Facebook profile or Instagram and be like, hey, like, how is she? Like, what is she doing on her feed? How is she doing her stories? How is she doing her reels? Can I see myself doing that too? Or if there's like nothing there, that's kind of an indication as well. But also vice versa. If I saw that she was open and honest, which she is, and relatable, I would be like, wow, okay, you're piquing my interest. And she's really making a difference in people's lives. People seem to love her. And maybe I could start doing that myself too. Now Instagram launched Reels, feels like yesterday, but August of 2020. I remember how scared I was, how the same feelings about stories. How the heck was I supposed to create a reel? I'm not a movie creator. I am not an actress. I don't have a lot of time to like do a lot of different crazy things. How is it going to change my business? How am I supposed to add value? How am I supposed to continue to grow doing reels? Reels launched on August 5th, and I did my first reel on September 18th. It's terrible. Didn't know what I was doing. I did one of those like jumping and the outfits change, which I still enjoy watching those. But in my head, I was like, wow, that was really bad. What was the point of that? I watched and finally dove in, didn't know what I was doing, literally Googled, how do I make a reel? And I Googled that and watched a YouTube video. Then I jumped right in. And side note, anything in this business, anything that you want to know, you can Google and YouTube. It's very, very convenient to like ask, but also if you just Google it, you could probably find like quicker and more efficient answers. Every time there's a new way of doing social media, you always have to make the choice to either change with the times or it will pass you by. It always happens where a coach will start taking a back seat and they don't change with the times and they don't evolve, and then they start kind of eventually fading out. Stories, and don't let that be you. Stories came out in 2017. Reels came out in 2020. There is something new that's going to come out next year, guaranteed. And we just have to be ready for it and accept it. And the question is, are you willing to move forward in an imperfect way in this business? So advice for Reels is just start. You have to start doing them. I'm here to remind you that it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm one that I don't really strive. Perfection is not like in my bones. I'm just like kind of moving forward. And I'm like, oh yeah, that wasn't perfect. I'm going to correct it next time. I almost like not being perfect. So I can feel, it's like a 3 in me, that I can feel like I'm making progress and doing more. People even enjoy you not being perfect. They want to see the no filter, the messy, the full of imperfections and mistakes. They want to see you. It's how your audience connects with you. And that is what this business is all about. Reels are the best way to do connections right now because Instagram is constantly putting them up at the top of your Instagram feed. I'm sure if you like log in, it's usually like the top right is like someone like dancing. I'm like, it's a reel, like all these reels of, I guess that's what I'm interested in, like people like doing their like fun moves. And if you want to start growing, you have to start doing reels. So how I create my reels is I start with the music, and it's usually when I'm feeding Winnie early in the morning when no one's up or late at night. And if I feel like I'm connecting to that music, I save it. I don't know if you use collections, but you should start using them. You can save your reel. I add it to my reels collection. And when I'm going back and I'm like, okay, it's time to do a reel, then I have the content kind of already laid out. It's usually organically coming to me related to mom life or toddler life or baby life or breastfeeding. And then, because that's kind of like the stage I'm in, and that's the stage where most of my clients are in as well, because you attract where you are in your life stage. And then I take the music, add the words with my video, and then if you're kind of confused at what I'm saying, it's time for you to start researching reels. Ultimately, reels should be super fun. It should bring you a lot of joy. They should be relatable. They should be shareable. The whole point of it is to get more eyes on your content. The goal is for people to watch your reels. They feel connected to you. They want to watch more of your reels. So they go to your profile, they want to watch more of your reels. And then they're like, ooh, she has stories. Let me look at her stories. And so when I'm doing reels, I want to make sure in my stories, I have something I'm inviting to, coaching or challenge groups. I want to make sure they know I am running a business. I am this relatable person that is a mom, a girl mom, doing all the things, whatever. But I also want them to know that if they're looking for their own transformation, or if they want to earn extra income, that I'm that person they can come to. So that brings me to my next point, is tracking and having a master list. In terms of so this is super key for your business. In terms of tracking your conversations and connections in Instagram, I use collection albums. I feel like that has been a big key to my success and to diving into my cold and new market, because in Instagram, you can get very lost and all over the place when it comes to tracking. You can like comment on this person and scroll and comment on that. And I'm like, where are those people that I connected with? Because that's obviously a part of my power hour. I have no way of like reaching out or following up with them or like keep the relationship going. So one of the key things that I've learned is having a system in place where it's easy to follow up with your prospects. Collections is a great way to do that, to store people in an organized way that you can always look back on and take action from. For example, when I'm doing my power hour, and side note, if you haven't hopped on a live power hour, you absolutely should. There's like 3 of them a day. They're awesome, and it keeps you on track. And it's pinned at the top of Team VIP. So when I'm doing my power hour and I'm trying to find new people to connect with, this is what I do. I have my go-to Instagram accounts. And for me, it's an account for like tough toddlers, because I am the mom of Margaret, and she is a tough toddler. She's so fun and very smart, but she is tough. And so I'm relating to those other moms. So it's an active account where they are very active. Like that account is constantly posting stuff. So I go to their latest post. I'm looking at who is commenting on those posts, because they're active on Instagram. I'm looking at what they're saying, how they're saying it, and the profile pictures. I'm kind of doing like a judgment call. They have a private account. I'm following them. I don't care about how many follows and people I'm following. If they're not my vibe and I put them in a collection, I'll eventually unfollow them. But I'm not worried about that from the very beginning. If they have a public account, then I'm going in and I'm making real honest connections with them, because they have a tough toddler. So I'm going to comment on a photo where they have the toddler, or if they have another baby or pregnant or something like that. And then I'm bookmarking it. There's like a little bookmark symbol like on their, if they do a post, there's a bookmark symbol that you can click, and it says add to a collection. And I have it set up in my collections where each collection has a month. So I can look on my Instagram, go to saved, go to my collections, and each month, each collection area is like named as a different month. If I'm spending valuable time on connecting with people on Instagram, I'm absolutely going to track it, or else it gets lost and I'll never follow up. Therefore, my time is completely wasted. And I feel like one of the things I want you to do is be super careful of your time. The whole goal of coaching is to spend like an hour to 2 a day not like 3 hours of where am I supposed to start? How am I supposed to do this? Time is wasted. And then you feel guilty for not being with your family. That's like not the point. The whole point of coaching is to do this in an efficient way where you have more time freedom, where you have more financial freedom. So once I click the bookmark button, then I add them into a collection, and then I can follow up each month. I constantly look back on my collections, and I'm like, "Ooh, let's go to her profile," and and I usually build relationships pretty frequently before I go in for the ask for an invite. But that way, I'm constantly seeing the people that I'm connecting with. I'm either going to reconnect, I'm going to invite, or I'm going to unfollow at that point. And then my other point is having a master list. It's very important. I have a master list in Excel. So when people ask for more information, they're like, oh, or they answer a poll, they ask for more information, they ask about Shakeology, they ask about Energize, they ask to be in my free group, they ask about coaching, they respond to a coaching post, they went to my sneak peek. I'm having a master list of all these people. I add to it once a week, and I make sure names go in there. So I'm constantly following up, because do you get ghosted? Because me too. I've been here for 5 years. I get ghosted all the time. I have sent like 3 share cart links this week, and I'm like, these people aren't responding back to me. Like, why does this happen? That's okay though. I have learned throughout my 5 years that it might not be the right time for them. That's okay. They might not have the money, and that's okay. Like, I will be here when they're ready, and I will follow up. But the main idea is to have a master list of, therefore you will follow up. Transformations and journeys. My next point is the reason why I love Beachbody so much is, and one of the reasons I'm here today is because I bleed Beachbody blue. Like, do you bleed Beachbody blue? Because if you saw the amount of Beachbody products I consume on a daily basis, Raquel and I were actually laughing about this at lunch the other day. And if I talked about all the products on my stories, I think people would get really, really scared. Like, wow, no. Like, Scott and I wake up, we have Energize and Hydrate, and we work out. I make Scott's Shakeology. I make my Recover. Then mid-morning, I'm making Bevy and Energize together, which if you haven't tried, it's really good. Then we're all snacking on snack bars. Like, everyone loves them in our household. And then after lunch and my mid-afternoon, I'm having Shakeology with collagen, digestive health, and power greens. And Margaret has half of a shake as well. Like, her family is like kind of ridiculous. But that's why I love Beachbody so much. It's changed my life so much. And one of the things that I've stayed true to over the past 5 years is I'm always staying committed to a program 100%. How I do things is when there's a new workout program that is released, I invest in the program myself because I know it's going to come back to me. I start the program myself. I show the program in my stories. I talk about the program. I'm posting about it. You guys, Beachbody is amazing. We don't have to come up with these programs. We don't have to come up with the nutrition. We don't have to come up with Tubi or Ultimate Portion Fix. We don't have to come up with the amazing recipes. They're all there for us. And it's our job to commit and follow along and follow through. And how are we supposed to help others on their health and fitness journey when we aren't following it along ourselves? If, like, when I ask you, like, are you on Tubi or are you on Ultimate Portion Fix? That should be a very easy question. What workout program are you doing? It should be a very, very easy question. What are you doing next? We have amazing trainers, amazing workouts. We're constantly coming up with new programs that are challenging yet fun, and it's our job to talk about it. What's the best way to talk about it is through action and doing the program from start to finish ourselves. For my business, this is how I keep having old clients and new clients in my funnel and wanting to start the new workout program. So I'm pumping people up in my stories, in my challenge groups. I'm showing the moves, the workout in my stories, and I'm inviting. Even the challenge groups that I'm doing know this as well. I'm talking about it, I'm pumping it up, I'm doing a countdown, talking about the next program, who's going to do it with me, when it's released, and letting people know how they can access the VIP program. And in the end, this is boosting my volume and commissions. So, and then my last point is keeping clients and creating new coaches. A key to this business is you have to run it how you want to do it. If your upline coach or maybe your success partner is doing it a different way, that's totally okay. It's okay to do your own thing. For example, I run my own challenge group. For me, I personally love Facebook challenge group. I like having one group. I know when I have multiple groups going, I'm just like, And I kind of freeze and my groups suck. So I'm really good at just one group. And I know that about me. I like to go all into one group. I've had my Fit Crew group open for 3 years. It's my veterans. It's my new people. It's where I run my new stuff. Just one group. And this is where I keep adding my new customers to. I do notice that when I'm going all in with a program myself and posting, my group is on fire, and vice versa. When I'm kind of like stale and I'm not motivated, I'm just kind of going through the motion, so is everyone else. 9-week Control Freak has been fabulous for my Fit Crew. Everyone is doing awesome, posting their workouts, really, really involved. But honestly, it's not the program that's really doing it. It's the positivity and the energy and the fire from myself. And that goes for you too. When you're in it and you're rocking it, the energy is infectious to others and it takes off from there. And that in your group is one of the best places to find your new coaches, right there in your challenge group. When I start helping people, like a new client on their health and fitness journey, I'm constantly thinking and prepping them to be a coach on our team. So kind of time to analyze like your groups right now. Are you on your fitness journey? Are you going all in? What type of energy are you bringing to your challenge group? And are you creating coaches from your challenge group? So to wrap it up, I will be completely honest with you guys. Back in July, I had to take a break from coaching, and everyone views breaks differently. My break was I just wasn't doing income producing activities. Would you know that I was taking a break? Probably not from the outside. I never stopped sharing on my stories. I never stopped talking to my leaders, and never I always was involved with them. I was checking on my clients, but I had to stop hopping on to power hours, and I stopped inviting. And I didn't even post on my challenge group. I had my amazing coaches on my team come in and take over Fit Crew. It was remarkable. Back in July of this past year, I had Winnie, and not even 2 weeks later, Santi passed away and Scott was deployed. And so my job right then was keeping Winnie alive and fed, keeping Margaret entertained and safe, that she didn't like kill herself, running or doing something, some feeding a baby. And my number one priority as well was to be there for my sister. She was going through the worst time of her life. And I had to be there for 100%. And she stayed with us for a while after Santi passed. And I was able to go up to Dallas and stay with her a lot. My job as a sister was to help her get through her grief, which you don't ever get through grief. But my job was to be there for her. And coaching always had my back through that. Now, this is something I don't really share openly and honestly with on social media, but through that, it was truly 3 months that I kind of had to stop doing income producing activities. My business never took a dip. It was quite the opposite. My business was growing, more income, and I was hitting Success Club 16 plus without inviting and talking about anything. And that's the power of this business. I don't say that to boast or brag. That's the power of this business. That's the power of relationships and connections. And when you lean into that really hard season of life, that's when people feel really, really connected to you. I have found out that people really wanted to stay connected with me, and I was always connecting right back. And everyone's going to have hard seasons of life. You're going to have people pass away. You're going to have people, devastating things happen to your family that, we're not special. That happens to every single family. But this business has been here for me through the toughest times. And there's no way I would have had, Scott and I talk about it a lot, there's no way I would have had a corporate job. If I had a corporate job, I would have had to quit it, just because family comes first, and Natalie needed me and I needed her as well. But that's also 5 years of staying consistent and showing up daily. That's 68 months in Success Club. I'm 68 months that I counted it up. I missed 1 month of Success Club. That was October 2016. I'm still kicking myself and banging my head that I didn't just work a little harder. And when you put in the work, things align perfectly for you and your team when you put in the work. In November, it did just that. It aligned perfectly to where our team was all lined up to start qualifying for 4-star rank. And we did. We held it for 6 weeks and our team hit 4-star. And then things started really kind of getting better, my mindset and like where we were as a family at the beginning of the year. And that's when things started to align for 5-star. And this business is wild, you guys. But in the end, when you don't give up, amazing things can and will happen. And that is, I'm just going to like sum it up right there because we are over on time. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, let me look at the chat.
I won't take up any time in case people have questions so they can unmute themselves. But thank you, Laura. You've been a leader on this team since the very beginning. I'm so grateful to have you lead tonight. And we just wanted to hear, especially like, because you set your 5-star goal like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
And I know how it feels because I've missed goals. I have missed plenty of goals, but I know how hard it is when you set something and sometimes you feel like you're the only person who has failed or who has failed to reach what you set. So Laura is literally living proof in our faces tonight that she's missed a goal 5 years in a row. But during those missed goals, her business was able to surge and her business was able to do what above anything that recognition could ever provide in this business was give her the opportunity to be where she needed to be over the last year and a half. And that is way more important than any title or rank or recognition that Beachbody could ever offer. That's the purpose that we're doing this for, is to be able to be available and present when we want to be, where we want to be able to spend and save and donate and be the kind of people we want to be in our communities and in our families. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. But you can't get to the point where Laura is, where she had the opportunity to still have a thriving business while taking a backseat, unless you set those big goals, unless you give yourself a reason to push. Like if she wasn't pushing for 5-star, what would she have been doing all of those 5 years? Where would her business have landed? Because she continued to push for that big goal, her business continued to grow and the income continued to grow and the teammates continued to come. So even though that one little piece of recognition didn't happen on her timeline, because she had that set as her goal and she kept pushing forward and didn't play for stagnant, because it's easy to say, okay, well, I'm kind of comfortable here. I'm scared to reach this next goal, so I'm just going to do nothing. I'm just going to like play status quo. But if you don't have those seasons of pushes, which we're about to enter a season of push, because pre-summit qualification is a big, springtime is a big Beachbody push for everybody. The entire network does a big rank push. You start to see people coming out of the woodworks and use that energy to your advantage. But if you don't push and get yourself a stretch goal, imagine where you won't be in 5 years or 2 years or 1 year or 6 months from now. Like Laura is just a perfect example of what happens when you continue no matter what and you show up. I'm sure everybody watches her, but if you don't, she's just the most genuine human in all of the land. Like, you know exactly who she is. She wears her heart on the sleeve. When you meet her in person, if you haven't already, she's exactly the same person on social media that you see in real life. She's a little taller in real life, but other than that, she's totally the same person. And that is really hard, because I feel like sometimes on social media, you meet them in real life and you're like, that's not at all who you present to be. Like, that's not who I thought at all. But she's honest and real, and her business shows. Her business success follows that, because she shows up to serve first. The success will always follow if you put service at the front. Didn't mean to take up the time. I'm looking to see if questions, but basically it's just a love bomb happening in the chat, Laura Jean. Anybody have questions?
It's so inspiring, Laura. I do have to say, Laura is much taller in person. If you haven't met her yet, and both Jessica and Jessica and Raquel they're actually miniature people. If you haven't met them in real life yet.
And then you'll just see all three of us walk up together, and it'll just throw you off.
And I'm like in the middle. Jen Struck looks very petite, and she is in social media and in person, but Jessica and Raquel, they will throw you with their
Aw,
all right,
that's
I'll
awesome.
go ahead and do our recognition for tonight. Congrats to Jen Struck for locking in Success Club 10 for the month of March already. And also at Success Club 6 is Erin Marquise. And then at Success Club 4, just one person away from locking in Success Club is Angela, Kate, Erica, and Kristen. Lots of people on the board. Off to a great start this month. So far, our team has already helped 3 people. And congratulations to new Emeralds this week, Erica Ramirez and Lexi Ortiz. I don't see any new success starters up there from last month. Speaking of Emerald, Raquel and I are hosting an Emerald training on Tuesday night. It's a part of the same group of coaches that run the Collab Power Hours that go on every day. So if you are a coach, your rank in your online office says coach, you're brand new or you've been here for a minute, or you have personally sponsored coaches who are not at Emerald yet, you want to get on that call. Emerald is the most important rank in the business because it unlocks a different type of earning potential. That team volume that we all get to build together, you get your piece of that pie when you are an Emerald coach. So Raquel and I are going to break it down, how to get there, what to do, why it's important, all that stuff on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to create a Facebook event right after this, so be on the lookout for that and make sure that you share with your team. All right, anything else? All right, thanks again, Laura. So proud of you. So love you so much. Thank you for sharing your heart and your story and motivating us all tonight. Everyone have a great week, and we'll see you later.